So guys, today's video is going to be so important. It's going to be the smartest and quickest way to achieve £10,000 a month, the route I'm currently on to try and achieve this. And hopefully if you guys follow some of these steps, whatever position you're in, that you can make progress and head towards this goal. So as 2023 is coming to an end, I think this will be a good video for people ready for 2024 to smash it. Make sure if you get value from this video, don't hesitate to like, comment and subscribe. We've got a free community down below if you want to be part of that, which is one of the points I'm going to make in this video, be around the community. But yeah, hope you guys get ready from this video. My Instagram's down below if anyone wants to ask me any questions about anything. And let's just get into the video. So firstly, as I briefly mentioned, the thing that transformed my trading initially, because at the start, whether you've been trading 1 year or a couple of months, you need to get around the community of like-minded people, because whether it's a paid community or a free community, just get involved with a group of traders to start with, because you're going to be around people, probably in your friendship group or family or your tight network of people outside of like the internet. They're going to be people that don't trade. They don't know much about trading. Maybe you're the lone wolf, the lone trader that no one really knows what you're doing. There might be some negative talk about trading. Does it work? Is it gambling? You know, can you actually be successful? And I'm not sure if you've heard the statistic that 90% of traders lose 90% of their money in 90 days. So there's going to be a lot of negativity around it. So I think initially you have to get within a community of people, whatever the level, whatever the standard, whether there's someone that's funded, 6-figure funding, 7-figure funding, or whether someone's just started one for a week. It's so important to get around these like-minded people, because that way people are going to be able to pass on their advice. For example, like this channel, I'm still progressing to my goals. I'm still progressing to get to £10,000 a month. I'm still progressing, but I'm further ahead than most, or further ahead than a lot, and I'm sure there's people further ahead than me, but I can pass on my knowledge and my experience to help others. And being in a community of like-minded people, there's going to be, like I said, people further ahead, people that are behind, but everyone's going to be able to improve. So it's important to get around the like-minded community, which we have a free group, but also if you want to get a paid one, I don't offer anything like that at the minute. It's something I could consider in the future, but this current moment in time, I'm not looking to do anything like that. But there's other companies where you can pay for strategy, education, get around professional traders that have traded for years, because that's what held me back. When I first started in 2017, I spent 1 year when I was doing it full time and learning. I spent 1 year not in a community. I was just learning on YouTube, and as much as that helped, and there's a lot of valuable information, I needed a set strategy. I needed experience. I needed people to tell me directly experience that they've gone through, the pros, the cons, the good times, the bad times, that will help me improve. And that's what held me back. But when I got into a community, I paid, I think it was £80 a month in the community that I was in. It helped transform my results, because not only was I around a company that had a set strategy and a set mechanical rules. Obviously, there was some intuition that come into the strategy, but for the most part, I knew where I'm buying, where I'm selling, why I'm buying, why I'm selling. And it allowed me to understand probability, understand the concept of trading, that losing isn't always bad. A losing trade isn't always bad, and a winning trade isn't always good. Winning trade's not always good, because if you take a winning trade and it's not part of your strategy, if you do that 100 times, you'll be down on your account. Like also a losing trade, that's not always bad. I've not always had a bad day if I've lost. And I learned all these concepts through being part of a community, being around people that knew what they were talking about. So yeah, number one, I think it's so important to join a community, learn a strategy, learn a system that's actually profitable. So the way you can do that as well is you either pay and you learn, or you learn online. Nowadays, when I was learning, there wasn't as much information online. Now, go on your laptop, go on YouTube, find a strategy that works, then you've got to back test it, because you can't take people's word, face value, that, oh, this strategy works. Look at a video, look at a strategy, then back test it and make sure you get the data, make sure you get how often you win, your strike rate, your average risk reward, your percentage return over a certain period of time, so that you know exactly your strike rate, your win rate, and that's going to help you improve, because there's no good entering the market with no strategy. At that point, you are just gambling. You need to have a long-term edge, something that has the data you've got the data to suggest that what you're doing, your patterns that you see, your execution is going to be profitable long-term. So they're the first few points that I would say. Next, once you have a strategy and once you're part of a community, it's so important to get consistent, because I see a lot of people, they try scale up their capital, they try flip accounts, and I personally don't agree with the flipping accounts. People have disagreed with me on this, but in my opinion, you're going to have the best strategy in the world. If you have a 60% win rate, you're going to have a series of losses. And if you're over risking, you're going to blow a lot of your account. I've had 3, 4, 5 losses in a row. But if I'm risking 1% of my account, I'm only losing 5% max. If I'm risking 10% to try and exponentially grow the account, I'm going to be down 50%, half of my money. So although you can win a lot if you're risking big, you can also lose a lot. So it's so important that this is what I would say. I started with a £500 account, and I would say risk 1% of your account. Make sure that you're conserving your account, making sure that if you have a few losses, you're still able to trade, you still have capital to trade, and get consistent on that small account, which is what I did. I learned on a small account, and then I looked to get consistent on that small account. So I was trying to get 2, 3, 4, 5% per month consistently, January, February, March, getting consistent. Yeah, it wouldn't be much money. I wouldn't make much money, but I also wouldn't lose much money. But this is the point. To get to £10,000 a month, or even more than that, you're not going to do it on a small account. You've got to scale up your capital. So once you've learnt the skill set and you've got consistent, which is what I did, then now you either up your capital if you've got capital, or now a very common way is to go to prop firms. Prop firms, you can pay a couple £100, £300, £400 to get a 100k account and try pass these challenges. Now, I don't know when's the best time for you to do it. I'm in the process of doing funding and scaling up funding. That's down to you, and that's down to the individual. However, it's important that you're consistent first, because a lot of people, they've said to me they've been trading a couple of months, they just hop straight into funding. I'm just going to get funding, and it's like, well, you haven't got experience, you don't know what you're doing. It's a different, although and also you might have the skill set on a small account, you might have been consistent for the last 6 months, but how are you mentally going to deal with a lot bigger figures roaming up and down? If you're trading 100k, 200k, instead of maybe being up and down 10, 15, 20, 50 pounds, you're now up and down 1,000 at a time. The account's fluctuating. How's that going to mess with your psychology? So you've got to understand that. But it's important that once you've got the consistency and you're ready, and that's down to you to know, I would say have consistent results and you've achieved the requirements that the prop firm's asking. So a lot of them are 10%, then 10% in phase 1, 8%, or 8% in phase 1, 5% in phase 2, or 10% in phase 1, 5% in phase 2. If you've achieved that on your own personal account, then yeah, look to scale up. And this is where you're going to make the money. This is where all this time that you've not been making that much money, or you've been making little bits, but you're learning the skill. In 1 year of you scaling up your capital, if you scale up to 400,000 or 200,000, to make 10k on £200,000 account, 5%, which a lot of us would be achieving 5% a month, relatively consistently on a smaller account. So that's the path and the process I would go down. Number 1, join a community, get involved with the community, get involved with people that know what they're talking about, whether it's a free community to start with, like we've got one, but if you want to go a bit more, take it a bit more professionally, maybe go for paid education. Again, I can't recommend anyone, I don't know anybody that I can personally recommend. The company I used aren't around anymore. Once you've got the strategy, you're involved with people that are funded, are learning, you're around that like-minded people, backtest the strategy, make sure you've got a clear-cut strategy. You know exactly when you're entering, why you're entering, how you're entering. You know exactly your strategy. You can just roll off. So if someone asks me my strategy, I know exactly. I do this, I wait for this, then I see this, I see this, and it's the same process. Then once you've got a strategy and you've got the edge in your favor, so you're not gambling at this point, you have the data, you've got to then execute that strategy consistently and get consistent results, which comes with time and experience, learning to lose, learning to win, dealing with winning periods, dealing with losing periods. And once you've got that and you're consistent, then look to scale up. And that would be the path I would say to take. Don't look to flip an account from 10,000 and go high risk, 10,000 to 100,000 or 1,000 to 20,000. The chances are you're just going to blow your account. You need to make sure that you're consistent on a small account, learn the skill set, make your mistakes on a smaller account. You wouldn't see a musician go straight who's just learned, who's just released a song, go sell out an arena. He learns and develops a skill set with a small audience, makes his mistakes in a small audience and develops a skill, then scales up. And it's like any sport or any business. You scale up once you've got proof of concept, once you know what you're doing. So yeah, that would be the process, I would say, for 2024, the quickest way to get to 10k a month. And that can vary. I don't know the time frame, that will vary for everyone. But like I said, learn the skill, get in a community, have a strategy, have a backtested strategy so you have an edge, learn the skill set, get consistent on a small account, then scale up. And that would be the process I would say to take. So yeah, hope you guys got value from this video. If you do, like, comment and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.